Hello everyone, welcome back to Project Zomboid. We've got some busy times ahead of us now. We're going to take over that farm, we're going to need to start gathering our supplies. First thing to do is to go up and snag that cedar. But if we're going to get that and get the other farm equipment up to snuff, we're going to need a few points in metalworking as well. So first thing to do was to head up and grab that cedar. And drove back around up to where the plough was. Had a quick look at that and managed to find a few things that we could take out of it at least. It's got some good parts and some less good parts, so we'll only take what we actually need that's any good. That's mainly going to be the tyres and the 2 ploughshares. And from there, it's inside the houses to start taking some things apart. Everything from shelves to sinks, to bogs. Even the kitchen sink had to go. And a stove, because that was there. Then some chairs. Lovely folding chairs. Destroyed. All in the name of skill points. And we didn't even get to level 2. So I went on to the next little house that was up there, and then it made a noise at me. House didn't want me taking its sinks, I guess. So I took the cedar back to base and then got out onto the road and started foraging for some stones. Now specifically we're going to need stones because I want to fix up the driveway into that farm. And thanks to a helpful mod we can take these stones and turn them into gravel bags. And luckily we've got tons of sacks from where we did the the compost run. And we got all the rotten fruit and veg to make compost with. So we had to poke around just the little roads outside the base, grabbed a few stones and some mushrooms as well. Don't know what they are though, so we're not just going to eat them, because you don't want to just go eating random mushrooms unless you know what they are. That could be very interesting. After a spot of food and a quick nap, later on that night we headed out to dismantle a few other small odds and ends, and also biffed a zombie on the way. But I didn't show that. But we came over to dismantle this barrel and whatever else we could find in here. And that was the barrel we needed to get to level 2 in metalworking. Nice. Then back to base. We cooked ourselves a delicious bacon and vegetable stew. Yum! Who doesn't like bacon and vegetable stew? I know I do. That's why I made some. Put it into bowls and ate one of the bowls with a spoon through our welding mask. But hey, delicious, delicious stew. And before we did anything else, I hopped outside to check on the veg and the fruit that was still growing. And as it turned out, the broccoli was seed bearing. So we got to grab that quick. And from there, we went inside, full of our delicious stew, and had a nice sleep. And the next morning came, we decided to get in the Land Rover and head into town, because we still needed to get some more points in metalworking, which meant finding some more stuff to disassemble. The first stop on the list was the old grocery store mini-mart thing, because there were some clothing racks to disassemble there. So we got to that, then popped into the public restroom and swiped their sink and toilet as well. So from there, we went down to the bar and laundromat, because there's a couple of cars there to check, and a few zombies to beat up. And after a bit of a whiff fest, I had a look at the first car, And that one was in okay condition. The engine was functional, it had a little bit of fuel in it, and the key was in there as well. So I decided to leave that one. It might be handy as a spare, just in case. And from there we carried on over to the other two cars, by way of a zombie. Now the first car was locked, sadly, so I had a quick check of the engine, and with the zombie ever-present threatening ever-presently from the side, I grabbed some engine parts quick out of this car, hopefully before the zombie stuck up on us. Okay, that wasn't too bad. The second car also didn't have any fuel in it, so we grabbed the engine parts out of that as well, and clicked on the wrong button, but hey, mechanical panel information. And then it was into the laundromat to start dismantling some things. We started with one of the fridges, then a cabinet, and then onto the laundromat equipment itself. Dryer. Wait, no, those are washing machines. Washing machine. Then it was over to the dryers. And there we go. Metalworking 3. I think we need 4 to be able to do everything we need, but 3 is a good start. And we carried on dismantling a few of the other bits of equipment, and then went over towards the church. Quite why I'm reversing at this point, I don't know. But I got out and took it to the zombies in the surrounding area. So I hopped back in the Landy after all that fun, and finally started driving in the correct direction. Flipped it around quick and headed down to these two cars here, because the van I'm pretty sure was a wreck and I'd be able to dismantle it. Sure enough, I was right. Although that does use an awful lot of propane. Yes. But luckily we have a little bit left at least, so grabbed the bits and bobs from that and carried on down to the church. This fateful place where I was bitten the last time I was here. Taking a bit of a chance coming back again, but there's 2 vehicles we could get engine parts from, and this time I was going to clear the area first, be a bit more careful. After a substantial amount of fighting, I realised I was getting sleepy, so I decided to head into the church and see if I could find somewhere to sleep. I think this is a church. Community centre of some sort. But yes, there was an upstairs room with a sofa in it, so we had a bit of a kip. And once we woke up, it was back downstairs to start dismantling a bunch of folding chairs. Except I realised that I had run out of propane, so that meant I had to go outside to the Jeep to grab some. Lovely. There were a few zombies outside, but I managed to sneak around most of them and get to the Land Rover. It's not a Jeep. I keep calling it a Jeep, but it's not. Yes, we got some fresh propane in the torch, brought the tank with us, and went back inside to dismantle all these lovely folding chairs. And it was at that point, after I'd finished, I went into the kitchen and realised I was completely out of propane. Oh, balls. We're out of propane again. Oh, that sucks. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have to head back now, or check out the cars outside. Because I didn't take them before we came in. Oh, jeez. One of these days, that is gonna just... oh. And so I went back outside, fought off an assortment of zombies, and managed to steal the engine parts out of both the cars that were here. And they're in pretty good condition too, the engines. So we got a good amount of engine parts off of it, which will be useful in the long run. And then we hopped back in the Land Rover, it's definitely a Land Rover, and headed back home for the night, once it started. Now the next morning we set off to pick up the lawnmower, and we decided to take a disposable van with us just in case we had to drive back. But things didn't go quite according to plan. That was perhaps not the best way to take that corner. Morning has come. Shetland has a lot to do today, but we're going to start off with a bit of a meal. We are going to have ourselves a delicious, delicious salad made of stale cabbage and some radishes and a bit of broccoli, stale apple. I thought we put a stale pear in it, but we haven't, so we're going to put one in now. Do we have any meat? I don't think we've got any bacon left. Well, let's shove some potato in there, because that will help, won't it? A delicious vegetable and fruit salad. Yum. And from there I grabbed a duffel bag that I previously loaded with some tools and such, and headed out to get into the pickup truck. Because we're going to make a quick run to the hardware store just down the road and grab some supplies from what we'd left behind before. Mainly we were looking for concrete, because we're going to be needing that down at the farm. So I had a look around in the back, found some bags and loaded up on everything I could. Then we took the pickup truck back to the base quick and grabbed the mower, because we're going to need to take this down to the farm. So that's going to be our sort of main tool for clearing. And it's a bit of a rainy old day. Luckily the trip was largely uneventful. Besides the flying mower, I think it got caught by a gust of wind there. I'm not entirely sure, but it managed to take out a zombie, so hurrah for that. I really was trying to take it carefully though. But by the time we got down to the farm area, the storm had eased up a bit, but the mower was still wanting to play in all the puddles. And we headed down the farm track. It was a bit of a slow trip there, but we sped up time and made it down there past all the zombies. We'll have to come back and clear them out at some point and take out all these bushes, get rid of that car. There's some tree saplings and such as well growing that are really slowing the progress coming down that track. But we'll get that all sorted in the near future. So I got to the house, unhooked the mower, pulled the truck up to the back door, and then grabbed some supplies out of the back. Since it's raining, the first thing we're going to do here is a little bit of a building project. So I headed upstairs and climbed out onto the roof, because what better place to saw a bunch of logs than on the edge of the roof? I know, I'm smart, right? So I started building out some platforms from there around the side of the house, because we've got a couple of sinks downstairs that we can hook up to rainwater barrels. And since it's raining already, if we can get at least one or two of these set up quick now, that's going to mean we'll have a good supply of water here in the future. Ran back down and got some more logs to saw up into planks, and then we finally managed to make the rain collector after a bit of figuring out how many tiles down it was going to be from the window. We took a chance and placed it, or built it rather. And then I popped back downstairs again to hook up the sink. Hopefully I'd got it all in the right place. And luckily for me, I had. I didn't have much drinking water in it at the moment, but at least we have a fresh water source in the house now, which is good. However, this house has quite a few sinks in it. There's one here in what I guess is a laundry room of some sort, and there's another bathroom just around the other side here. If I take the long walk through the living room and then try to go upstairs, we find the second downstairs loo, which has two sinks and a toilet in it. So I went upstairs again, out the other side of the roof, and started building some more stuff there. After we got finished with that and some more inventory organising, I'd stopped for a bite to eat. A delicious can of peas. Yes, and we sorted out a small bag full of rotten stuff from the fridge, and then I heard a strange noise from outside. A plane was flying over. Eager to see if this was some sort of rescue attempt, I thought I'd pop outside and see what was going on. Couldn't see much of anything anywhere though, but it looked like they'd dropped some supplies. A little box with a parachute on it. Interesting. Hopefully it's fairly close. So I'm going to take a little bit of a trot through the old field here in the rain and see if I can find out whatever it was they dropped. If it's close, then maybe we'll get something useful out of it. Who knows at this point? Aha! Well, it looks like what we've got here is a supply cache, or supply drop rather. It's got boxes. Boxes of stuff. But crikey, that's a heavy delivery. We are going to need to get some support for this. So I take one box out, just to take back to the farm with us, and mark on the map exactly where we are, with a lovely parachute and a little arrow pointing to hopefully the exact spot, or at least near enough we'll find it in a bit. And then it's back off to the house to unload a couple of items that we've got, well, the box and the bag of rotten stuff, then head upstairs, have a bit of a nap. But there's something I forgot to do. Oops. The next morning it was back off at speed, just avoiding a fence there, to the previous base, to the diner, to grab some supplies, some bits and pieces that we're going to need. First stop was the generator. Hopped into the Land Rover, grabbed that off of the seat, hopped back into the pickup truck, and plonked it on the seat there. We'll need that in a little while. And it was inside with a duffel bag to grab a crowbar, some hand axes, and an assortment of other odds and ends that we needed. And before we got back down to the farm, I popped outside to check the strawberries. And it turns out that a couple of the plots were ready to grow, ready to harvest rather. So we picked them. And interestingly, they returned to a growing state. And then on the way back to the farm, we'd stopped off to do some mechanics on that broken car on our track, and got surprised by a few zombies. Now, I forgot to record all of that stuff, but I did remember to record the part where I dug some graves for them, and in an effort to keep the place fairly clean, got rid of all the bodies. Oh yes. Gotta keep the place clean, don't we? Clear up all the mess we made. And after that, I grabbed an axe, chopped down one of the little trees that was blocking our way, and hooked up the car to our pickup truck, to drive it back to the farmhouse. And of course, it was a bit of a slow journey back because, as you can see, I decided to do the mechanics before I moved the car. So we're dragging a car that's missing some wheels. But we eventually got it back to base. And I took the generator out of the pickup, went upstairs to the other side of the house roof, and plonked it down there. I figured that would be a good enough place. It's on the second floor, so we can access it fairly easily at any time. It's still going to create noise, but the zombies aren't hopefully going to be attracted to it. So we connected it to the house, and added a little bit of fuel from the bottle of gasoline that we brought with us. And then turned it on. So now we've got power at the farm. Fantastic. And so after that I headed downstairs to siphon the last of the fuel out of that car wreck. And all told we got a gas can and maybe a half out of it. And then I set about dismantling the thing, because we needed to get rid of it. Then we got a few supplies for our trouble, so that was pretty good. And after I grabbed them, loaded them in the truck, I headed down to the field where the supplies had dropped. I figured I'd hop over the fence and run down and grab as many as I could fit in my bag and shove into the back of the truck. Now they were quite heavy and the pickup truck was already quite full, but I got what I could and headed back to our little supply shed thing just off to the side of the house. And sadly this wasn't close enough to get electricity, but oh well. So, we set about unpacking them, and this is what we found. Oh, we just got a load of bog roll out of that one. I mean, it could be worse, I suppose. Maybe? I mean, you never know when you're going to need toilet paper. Let's try the other one with something sharp. Oh yeah, that just says it's bog roll on it. Okay. Toilet meat bog roll. Lovely. Can you do anything with it? We can write notes on the toilet paper. Well, there you go. That'll be handy, I guess. Let's go down and grab some more. Ooh, that one might be nice. We'll grab that. That's toilet paper. That's toilet paper. Oh, we'll have another one of them as well. Ooh, jars and stuff. Okay, let's grab one of them. Ooh, cutlery. Ooh. Chemicals, maybe. Another one of them. Fluids or chemicals, whatever it is. And, that's going to be farm supplies. We'll grab that as well, because that will come in handy. That was what we got out of the first one, but sadly I forgot to record it because I'm a muppet. But hey, these things happen. Okay, let's open that one. And we got jars of... Ooh, okay. Now, if I remember right, we're supposed to boil those in the fridge. Boil them in the fridge. God, what a numpty. Boil them in the... what's that other thing called? Oh, my brain's gone. Boil them in the oven. There you go. So let's open this. Lovely. Bunch of fertiliser. Which does that weigh? 8. Yeah, we could stick that in there. And a bunch more seeds. Awesome. Ah, more jars of food. Cutlery. Is it? Oh no, medical supplies. Okay. In fact, would it all fit in that? Two flares. I could get in trouble with those. Okay, and the last box that we brought back with us is this medical supplies one again, I guess. Oh no, it's just general supply. Vinegar. Okay, it's a canning thing. Okay, well that works out well. Well, let's get this little lot into the house. I thought I had 2 boxes of jars. Now I'm confused. Yes, there are 2. Where are they? Oh, I see. I'd put one on the floor. Like a silly person. Okay, we'll pop them in there for now. And I believe if we seal them by boiling them with a pot of water, then we can make them last a lot longer. Okay, the last 2 supply boxes that we brought back with us have within them fishing supplies. Aha. That might come in handy. And let's open that one as well. Fantastic. Oh, and some of it got stuck on the floor as well. Grab that. 6 fishing rods, 8 fishing net traps. Nice. Well, that could be something that future us gets into. A little bit of fishing and trapping and whatnot. But for now, I'm going to leave it here. So I do hope you've all enjoyed whatever this was. And I hope to see you next time as we continue on setting up this farm. Cheerio, everyone.